Williams. Thank you for joining me here on Taya's Sweet Aroma. As you can see, I am working with some fresh corn today, and the recipe I'm going to be sharing with you is the recipe for my cream corn. If you're anything like I was before I tried this version of a cream corn, then you're probably envisioning the one in the can that can be kind of salty at times and tastes like it's been blended in tastes like it's been pureed in a blender or a food processor. And if that is what you are envisioning, I want you to just clear your mind, because this version that I'm going to be sharing with you here today is just, it's on a whole nother level than the canned stuff. And it is one that is inspired from a barbecue restaurant that my family and I visited while vacationing here in Colorado about 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember me and my husband, the kids had already went and got a seat somewhere, but we were standing, picking out all of our meats, and then it came time for us to pick our sides. And I was picking sides like the baked beans and the potato salad. And he throws in cream corn, and I'm like, corn? Like, I don't want no corn. Like, let's just get extra potato salad or extra beans or bread, you know. And I'm happy he didn't listen to me though, because when we got back to where we were staying, we started getting all the food ready, and he gets a spoon and he tastes the corn, and he's like, "Oh, Taya, you gotta try this corn." He's like, "This corn is bomb." And I'm just like, I'm kind of ignoring him because he likes to exaggerate at times. Well, he exaggerates a lot. And so I went over and I tried the corn, and I was just like, oh, like, this is so good. It was the best cream corn that I had ever tasted. And I ended up eating most of the corn that day. But when we got back home to Arizona, I decided to recipe test and try to recreate this corn that I fell in love with. And that is the recipe that I'm going to be sharing with you here today. So right now I'm getting all of my corn peeled. When I'm done doing this, I'm going to get it rinsed off really well. Then I will show you how to cut it, and we'll go over the rest of the ingredients. Now that all my corn is rinsed, I wanted to show you this little trick that I learned that I saw on TV a long time ago, and I've been using it ever since. It just requires a bundt pan. Now, if you don't have a bundt pan, you can go ahead and just cut your corn off your cob over a cutting board. It's just gonna go over well. I've even seen people put a towel over your cutting board, and that way when the corn falls off the cob, it doesn't go rolling everywhere. But this method works great. So if you have a bundt pan, all you wanna do is get your corn, take the bottom part of your corn, or I should say the top. Yeah, I guess it's the top. And take a knife, a really sharp knife, and you just want to cut right along the sides. And as you see, it just all falls directly into this pan. Let me show you again. Starting at the top, I just go straight down the corn, the cob, I should say. Turn, do it again till I get all the way around. Once I have all the corn off the cob, what I like to do is take the back of my knife, because I like to get some of those juices out of there. So I take the back of my knife and I just scrape down the cob, getting some of those extra bits of corn as well as the juice out. You'll be surprised at how much extra corn and juice you can get off of this cob after cutting the corn off. So don't skip this step. It'll just help the cream corn to turn out just even more delicious. I'm gonna go ahead now and finish doing the rest of the corn, and then we'll go over all the ingredients. The ingredients you're gonna need for this recipe is the fresh cut corn, heavy whipping cream, whole milk, granulated sugar, some salt, freshly ground black pepper, unsalted butter, and some cream cheese. Now to get started cooking this corn, I'm gonna start by adding my butter to this skillet. It is over a medium-high heat. Get it melted down. Now that my butter has melted down, I'm gonna add in my corn, along with my salt and pepper. Get these stirred together. Now that my salt and pepper has been incorporated, I'm gonna go ahead Cover this with the lid and allow it to cook for about 5 minutes, checking on it here and there to make sure nothing's sticking or burning on the bottom, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. You can see that the corn has started to release some of its own juices. I'm now gonna add in my cream cheese, the milk, as well as the sugar. Give everything a stir. Okay, now that my cream cheese has had a chance to melt down into the corn, I'm gonna cover it again for another 5 minutes, and then I will show you what it looks like. After 5 more minutes, you can see that the corn has released even more of its own juices. Now I'm gonna add in the heavy cream, get this stirred in. Okay, I got that all mixed in. Now I'm gonna cover it one more time for a couple more minutes, and then I will show you what the corn looks like when it's done. Okay, the corn should now be done. Everything has had a chance to cook together nicely. And as this sits and cools slightly, the sauce will continue to thicken up even more. But you can see how nice and creamy the corn is. Corn is all done. One thing I like to do is top it with a little more freshly ground black pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste for you. It's perfectly sweetened. The corn still has a bite to it. Now, if you want to cook yours down a bit more, you can, but I think it's perfect as is. One other thing I wanted to mention before I let you go is that you can substitute the fresh corn for frozen cut corn. I've never tried it with canned corn, but when you check out my recipe, which I'll include a link down in the description box below, and it's over on my blog, but when you get there, you'll notice that there is some steps for the frozen cut corn as well. And the only difference really is it just cooks for a couple minutes less than the fresh corn because it's more soft already once it thaws out, but very easy to make, delicious. You gotta give this recipe a try. As always, I thank you for spending time with me here today. Don't forget to like and subscribe below, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.